gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to week 2 of the NCAA football season. Week 1, week 0 combined, I went 28-1 for win-losses, thanks to Tennessee in the double overtime victory over Georgia Tech. I was 18-10 against the spread, and I was 17-11 over/under. I call those successful weeks. Anything above 500 to me is successful. But hey, what do I know, right? Now, if you're an NFL football fan, make sure you check out NFL Week 1. It may not be up immediately, but within a few hours, you should see it right there. NFL Week 1. So, let's get started on NCAA Week 2. We have the Florida Atlantic Owls 0-1 versus the 9th ranked Wisconsin Badgers 1-0. Now, the rankings are from last week. I haven't got the updated rankings with the game being last night and all. Badgers favored by 31.5 at home. I have them winning, covering, and over on the 57.5. Next, the Cincinnati Bearcats 1-0 versus 11th ranked Michigan Wolverines 1-0. Michigan big win against Florida 33-17 in week 1. Michigan favored by 34.5 at home. I have them covering. I have them winning, covering, and under on the 49.5. Next, we have the 16th ranked Louisville Cardinals 1-0 versus the North Carolina Tar Heels 0-1. Louisville. If you've not checked this out on, I believe it's on Lifetime, TLC, one of those type of channels, there's a show called So Sharp. It's Todd Sharp, the Louisville Ladybirds dance coach, has his own reality show with some of the dancers. I know they dance during the basketball games, but I don't know if they do during the football games too or not. And they're talking about on the show about nationals and all this, the dance, the Ladybirds, so it's kind of interesting to see. Todd Sharp, he's from what I've seen on the reality show, he's a pretty straightforward bulldog kind of guy. So it's kind of neat, seeing that connection with Louisville. I have them winning, I have them covering the 8 points, and I'm taking under on the 63.5. Next, we have the 19th ranked South Florida Bulls 2-0 versus the 0-1 Connecticut Huskies. South Florida, 17.5 point favorite on the road. I have them winning, covering, and under on the 67. Next, we have the Fresno State Bulldogs 1-0 versus the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide 1-0, who should, for no reason not to, be in the playoffs and possibly win another national championship this year. They're a 44-point favorite at home with an over/under of 54. Really? So they're not giving Fresno State a shot. I'm at least giving them a shot. They're going to cover the 44. They may win. Bama may win by 43. And I'm taking under on the 54. So, yeah, we'll see where that goes. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Panthers 1-0 versus the 6th ranked defending Big Ten champion, the Penn State Nittany Lions 1-0. Penn State favored by 20.5 at home. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 67.5. Next, we have the Louisville Monroe Warhawks 0-1 versus the 3rd ranked Florida State Seminoles 0-1. Then we'll lose in Alabama in week 1, which the loser of that game, which now we know it's Florida State, they have an uphill battle when it comes to being in the Final Four playoffs and national championship. So Florida State favored by 31.5 at home. I got them winning, covering, under on 54.5. Next, we have the Texas State Bobcats 1-0 versus the Colorado Buffaloes 1-0. Colorado favored by 36 at home. I have them winning. I have them covering and taking over on the 54. Next, we have the 12th ranked Auburn Tigers 1-0 versus the 5th ranked Clemson Tigers 1-0. Clemson favored by 5.5 at home. I have them winning and covering. I'm taking under on the 54. Go Tigers! Next, we have the Chattanooga Mocs 0-1 versus the 13th ranked LSU Tigers 1-0. Tigers, I got the LSU winning. Next, we have the Montana Grizzlies 1-0 versus the 8th ranked Washington Huskies. Huskies with a win. Next, we have the 14th ranked Stanford Cardinal 1-0 versus the 4th ranked USC Trojans 1-0. USC favored by a touchdown at home. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 56. Next, we have the Georgia Bulldogs 1-0 versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 1-0. Notre Dame favored by 6.5 at home. I got them winning, covering, and taking under on the 53.5. Next, we have the Buffalo Bulls 0-1 versus the Army West Point Black Knights 1-0. The Black Knights had 0 passing yards, 0 completions in week 1. They were 0-2 in passing with 513 yards on the ground. So they might be a force this year if they learn how to throw the ball. Army's favored by 16.5 at home. I get them winning. I got Buffalo covering to 16.5. I'm taking under on the 49. Next with the Indiana Hoosiers 0-1 versus the Virginia Cavaliers 1-0. Indiana favored by 2. I'm giving it 2 points to Virginia. I'm taking Virginia to win. I'm taking at home. I'm giving them to cover the 2 points. I'm giving under on 55. Next with the Eastern Michigan Eagles versus the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Eagles 1-0. The Knights 0-1. Rutgers favored by 4 points at home. I have them winning, covering the 4, under on the 53. Next with the Appalachian State Mountaineers 1-0 versus Savannah State Tigers, who 0-0. I have Appalachian State winning. Next with the Houston Cougars at 0-0, whose game got canceled due to Hurricane Harvey, versus the Arizona Wildcats 1-0. Houston favored by 1.5 on the road. I have them winning, covering, and taking over on the 66. Next, we have the 7th ranked Oklahoma Sooners 1-0 versus the 2nd ranked Ohio State Buckeyes 1-0. One of these two teams will obviously have a loss after this week. They'll be in the same boat as Florida State with that 1 loss, losing to Alabama. Ohio State, I think, can come back from... That's backwards. Oklahoma, I think, can come back with 1 loss. I think having a good showing in the Big 12. I think Ohio State, if they were to lose this, the Big 10 is so competitive that I think they would get lost in the shuffle with that 1 loss. I'm taking Ohio State to win at home. They're favored by 7.5. I have Oklahoma covering that, but I think it'll be less than a touchdown. And I'm taking over on the 64.5. Next, we have the East Carolina Pirates 0-1 versus the 22nd ranked West Virginia Mountaineers 0-1. West Virginia is favored by 24 at home. I've been winning, covering, and taking under on the 61.5. Next, we have the Central Michigan Chippewas at 1-0 versus the Kansas State Jayhawks at 1-0. Kansas favored by 5.5 at home. I'm giving Central Michigan the 5.5. I am covering it. I've been taking under on the 56. Next, we have Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 1-0 versus the Illinois Fighting Illini 1-0. Western Kentucky's favored by 8 on the road. I have them winning, covering, and taking under on the 59.5. Next, we have the Marshall Thundering Herd at 1-0 versus NC State Wolfpack at 0-1. NC State favored by 24 at home. I have them winning, and Marshall covering the 24. I'm taking over on the 55.5. Next, we have the Western Michigan Broncos at 0-1 versus the Michigan State Spartans at 1-0. Michigan State favored by 7.5 on home. I have them winning. I have Spartans covering the 7.5. I'm taking over on the 51.5. And last but not least, I have the South Carolina Gamecocks, the big SEC matchup here, 1-0 versus the 1-0 Missouri Tigers. Missouri favored by 2.5 at home. I'm not so sold on the Missouri Tigers yet. Yeah, they blew out Missouri State. South Carolina beat NC State, so I think the Gamecocks are a little better. I'm giving it 2.5 to South Carolina on the road. I have them winning. I have them covering. I'm taking under on the 74.5. So that will wrap up week 2 of the NCAA football season. The week 1 NFL should be up on Robert Sports Show. This is week 2 NCAA, round 2, and then the quarterfinals and semifinals of the WWE Mae Young Classic will be also up on Robert Sports Show, along with the Federated Auto Parts 400 from Richmond Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series preview. Stay tuned next week for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoff preview. That's starting a week from Sunday. Then next week we'll have it all over again. We'll have the NCAA Week 3, NFL Week 2. We'll have more from the Mae Young Classic, that final being on September 12th. We'll have the Road to WWE No Mercy coming. A lot of videos on Robert Sports Show over the next 4 months, so make sure you check them all out. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.